He is hot on your heels. Did you hear what I said? He is hot on your heels. Francis Thompson writes, I fled him down the nights and down the days. I fled him down the arches of the years. I fled him down the labyrinthine ways of my own mind and in the midst of tears. Sitting for long periods of time was always tough for me. I couldn't tell you how many Sunday mornings I had sat through by the age of 10. That morning, all I knew was that I just wanted to get home and play in the trees with my best friend Jimmy, but something was different about that particular morning. Every time my thoughts escaped into the trees, it wasn't long before my attention was drawn back to the pulpit my father stood behind as he gave his sermon. That's all that mattered as I fought my distracted adolescent mind to absorb every word my father gave to the crowd. That morning he spoke of Jesus, love, and the disciples' devotion. These passages that I had heard so many times before never struck as deeply as they did when delivered by my dad. Later he spoke of challenges faced over the years with meager means and simple beginnings. Just the mention of sleepless nights and prayer for us kids, or the overwhelming feeling of love when someone dropped off a bag of groceries just as the food ran out, drew a tear to his eye and a crack to his voice. He struggled for composure. Everyone in the room clenched the tissue. I knew I would do this one day. That marked for me the moment that I truly felt God's pursuit on my life. Jesus says in Luke 15:4, suppose one of you has 100 sheep and loses one of them. Does he not leave the 99 in the open country and go after the one lost sheep until he finds it? We see two very significant things happening in this verse as Jesus gives us this parable. Number one, the shepherd leaves the flock in the open country. And Jesus asks this as a rhetorical question. He says, wouldn't you go? Wouldn't you go? As if it's obvious. And for me, that's tough because my first response is no. It doesn't make any sense. Philip Yancey wrote in What's So Amazing About Grace, he says, a noble deed to be for sure, but reflect for a moment on the underlying arithmetic. How would the shepherd feel if he returned with one lost lamb, only to find that now 23 others are missing? He later goes on to say that the problem of pain meets its match in the scandal of grace. Folks, right here, Christ is painting a picture for us, for our inadequate human minds. He's defining for us what grace really is. Secondly, we see that the shepherd goes to look for the lost sheep. Jesus is saying here that God wants this oneness, this relationship with us so much that He's willing to pursue us, to risk the 99 for the one lost sheep, to risk it all for you. He's saying that God, every second of every moment, through the night, through the valleys, over the mountains, was pursuing me and you, the lost sheep. Folks, He is hot on your heels. Francis Thompson closes us with, all which I took from thee I did but take not for thy harms, but that thou might seek it in my arms.